We're coming live from Prussia. No. Start. Matias, would you like to begin the special spy report? I think we should.
Yes. So throughout all of these years, from 1871 to 1890, we have noticed several problems in Bismarck's rule. The alliance system which he created was extremely fragile, and the management was very bad. The colonial ambitions which Germany started having as soon as they were unified proved to become a negative aspect for Britain, as it led to alienation. However, it was also an expensive financial burden for Germany. Bismarck also created a legacy of distrust through blackmail and bluster. His inability to delegate authority, or the lack of tolerance for anybody that approached his equality or his status in the government, proved to be some sort of characteristics of a dictator.
So to continue the problems, Bismarck, at this current moment, Bismarck is deteriorating in health, and this is causing his absence from political measures. And seeing as the whole entire government at the moment is relied on Bismarck, this can become a huge problem and can lead to the deterioration of the stabilized, the liberals being repressed. So on to the successes that Bismarck and the Prussians are having. They're promoting modernization even further, and the economy is a great success. The economy, socioeconomic liberalism is suppressing the liberals, and even though they have a very conservative government. Bismarck has put forth a framework of capitalist enabling laws, and there's a balance of socio-economic progressiveness and political conservativeness.
Nevertheless, throughout Bismarck's rule, there proved to be several successes or positive aspects to what he has done. He promoted modernization and consolidation throughout all of the empire, making Germany become one of the strongest nations in the world. Throughout most of 1870s, he worked with national liberals, and he actually put liberal programs in place. So in a sense, he was actually promoting liberalism. He pioneered state socialism, as well as his policies assisted Germany's economic development. He actually, considering he was in power for so long, starting off from Prussia, unifying Germany, and then up to 1890, it showed how strong his political skill was and how good he was at, staying in power. Moreover, he actually monitored or maintained the peace when he unified Germany from 1871 and 1890.
So to assess the change over time that's happening, between the years of 1871 and 1878, there is a huge rise in the liberalism at the moment, since we have been stationed in Prussia. The universal suffrage has proved to be a terrible weapon in the hands of the Centre Party, who have gained many seats in the elections. Bismarck has to face a very powerful National Liberal Party, the National Liberal Party, which is stronger than ever and has increased their supporters. Also, there's a rise in his initial attempts to suppress the Catholic. Population has now been reversed and has ended up in his disfavor. Yeah?
So now I will talk about the policies which occurred over this time, and there were two main groups at this time which Bismarck was going against. So on one hand there were the socialists, and on the other hand was the Catholic Church, which Bismarck himself declared as the enemies of the Reich and the main threat to Germany. And so because of this threat to Germany, there were two laws declared to kind of suppress and oppress these two groups. So one was the May Law. Under this legislation, all candidates for the priesthood were required to attend a secular university, and this was an attempt to kind of oppress the Catholic Church. But this failed to a great extent, because at first Catholicism kind of went down, but in the end it really rallied the faithful and fortified them in their beliefs. And the same thing occurred in socialism. This law had the same traumatic effects on socialists that the May laws were having on the German Catholics. So we can see this on the socialist vote, which at first fell from 400,000 to 300,000, but then by 1884 it rose to 500,000, and later on continued to rise until it was well over 1 million in 1890. And another set of policies we could see over this time period were some positive policies which occurred in the economics of the country. So economic unification took place over this time. Internal tariffs were abolished, a national currency was established, a national bank was set up, the railways were completed, national postal and telegraph systems were made, and a unified system of weights and measures was introduced. So this strongly strengthened Prussia economically.
So to conclude with Britain's concerns and whether they should be concerned with the situation in Prussia and the German Empire at the moment, we've come to the conclusion that Britain has no concerns at the moment between this time. However, if we were to look in the short future, there might be some. However, the fact that Prussia is destabilizing, with the liberals gaining, with Bismarck losing favor, and with the liberals gaining favor, there's been a bit of a shift in the population, and as a result, there's a bit of confusion, and this results in no problems towards Britain. Thank you. That concludes our spy report.
You pause it.